Hey, possibility seekers, it's me. How are you? I'm going to talk about being at a crossroads today. I've been speaking to a lot of women of late who are feeling crossroads much more poignantly than I think I paid attention to when I was younger. And it's crossroads like my kids are going off to college. Now I'm an empty nester. I'm at a crossroads and I don't really know what that future looks like for me, or I'm not sure how I'm going to spend all of the time that I now have open to me. And I'm a little scared about it. My lack of children in the home has shed light on the fact that I'm not loving certain things about my life, my relationship with my spouse, my relationship to exercise, my relationship to accountability, my relationship to my job. I'm not really grounded in intentionality because I've been pretty much running around at the mercy of my kids for the last bunch of years. And now I don't have that excuse. I don't have that problem. I don't have that obligation. And I'm very scared of what that opens up for me and my life and my decisions and how I operate my day, my week, my month, my year. Another crossroads was, getting a divorce and what that looks like for people that go from being married for a very long time to now single. Retirement. I have a couple of people that I know that are very close to that, being able to pull the cord on their day jobs, but they really have an eye on, gee, I don't really know what my next chapter looks like. I don't really know what it is that I want to do, because retirement, going from 0 to 60 and 60 to 0, is very jarring. You can't spend 12, 14 hours doing something every day and then go to 0 and expect there to not be some trickle down, effects on how you feel and how you are. And so then you're looking straight in the face of your identity. Now you are no longer this executive, C-suite, important person, direct reports in the teens or in the hundreds or whatever it is that you used to do. Now it's just you. And so there's more crossroads that I've been hearing about. It's changes in job, changes in marital status, changes in parental status, changes in moving from one place to another, wanting to change jobs, wanting to do something different, wanting to do something that lights you up. I have a question for all of these kind of crossroads moments. Are you planning to do anything with those crossroads? So I talk a lot about default life and living your life, sort of letting the current or the stream take you down the river. Have you applied any sort of oars to this? Have you applied any sort of planning or intentionality to it? Because I always like to say anything is possible with the right amount of intention, planning, and action. You can't have one without the other two. It doesn't work. And you certainly can't get any results without all three. So crossroads are opportunities for us to look at life right in the face and say, what now? So just to share, I had a big birthday 2 weeks ago, and it was a little jarring for me from the perspective of like, oh shit, I really feel my mortality much more now than I ever have before. I'm giving it a lot of thought. I have given it a lot of thought, and everyone's like, oh, it's all in your mind. It's only a number. You know what? That's great, but it's my number. So I have X amount of years left on the planet, and I want to freaking do the best I can with those years that I have left. I have chosen to give many, many years of my focus to my children. I don't regret that for 1 second. And now I have the opportunity to put the spotlight on my life and say, what is it that you want to leave the world with? What is it that you want to stand for? What is it that you want to occupy your days with? And what is it that you're doing, not just thinking, not just wishing, not just intentioning? What are you doing? What are you actually doing? What is the plan, Monique? And so my plan is that I can want to build this podcast to something more significant and to scale it and I want to create this, Monique's Mafia. What is that? What's Monique's Mafia? Monique's Mafia is the circle of possibilities. The women that are up to something, the women that want to leave the planet a little bit better than how they found it, the women that want to support each other in community and want to get shit done. That's my community. That's Monique's Mafia. That's what I'm talking about. And that's what happens when you're at a crossroads. You got to take a direction. You know what they say, when you get to a fork in the road, take it. Kind of joke, kind of funny, but not really. The point is, you got to do something. Oh gosh, I sound like a campaign right now. But the point is, you do need to decide what is it that you think you want to do. And here's the thing: it's okay not to know, but it's not okay not to do something about it. Meaning, if you don't have the tools right now in your arsenal, in your head, in your body to say, okay, I do this, then I do this, then I do that, then get some help. Be part of a community. Go to, come to the retreat, whatever. Do something that's going to get you further along in the knowing and the further along in the doing. Because when you're at a crossroads, there's nothing worse than being stuck. Because when you're stuck, you don't know where to start. And when you don't know where to start, you do nothing. And then when you do nothing, then you're frustrated. And then you don't like your life because you're stuck. And then, you get my point, right? Don't put yourself in a position where you are in that stuck place. You're at a crossroads, you know it, you see it coming. Stop, think, plan, and do. If you are not feeling it, not where you want to be, quote unquote, not exactly lighting it up. You want to light it up, then you got to get a plan together. If you don't know how to get a plan together, surround yourself with people that do. If you don't have the people that do around you, get new people. Does it sound easy? Maybe. Is it doable? Sure it is. How? Join the mafia, like, Monique's Mafia, not the real mafia. You know what I'm saying? Be real. So it's this idea of getting the pieces together, understanding what you know, and understanding what you don't know. And then, okay, well, I don't know enough about this, and I want to know a lot about this, but I know that Monique has a friend that does that. So maybe we do an introduction, and then you teach her something, and she teaches you something else. There's a sharing, there's a community, there's strength in numbers. Because think about it. You want to push a boulder up the hill? Do you want to do that by yourself, or do you want to do that with a bunch of people? If you want to accomplish a goal and it hasn't worked for you by yourself, that tells you that you need other people to support you. That tells you that you might need to up-level your game a little bit. If you're at a crossroads and you're feeling pain or sadness or depression or something, you got to ask yourself why. What is it about fundamentally that what is triggering that response from you? Is it sadness? Is it, I don't know? Is it sort of like uncertainty, unpredictability? Is it the unknown? Or is it that your identity and your ego is being challenged? Is that, or a lot of the above? When you switch jobs or you become an entrepreneur from a corporate environment, that is a huge mind shift. I'm here to tell you because I went through it and it sucked. I went from being pretty important, or at least in my mind, I was pretty important. Everybody thinks they're pretty important until you realize you're really, in the grand scheme of things, you're a fly on the elephant's ass. That's what my conclusion is today. But in those days, it was presumably I had a job that people respected and people were, I had deference. And then you go to being a consultant or a vendor, if you will. And then you got to start all over again. And you put up with a lot of shit, and you've got to be chef, cook, bottle washer. You've got to learn a lot of things about a lot of things. And sometimes it's fun and sometimes it's not. Running a business is not just doing the skills that you get hired to do, but it's running a business. So you need to learn a whole lot more than you did when you were in somebody's corporation and they sent you a paycheck every week. Here, if you're an entrepreneur, you want to become one, you eat what you kill, my friends. So if you don't know how to get new clients, you ain't getting paid. So, okay, so you can take all the time you want off. People always say, oh, you're so lucky. You can take so much time off. Yes, I can. And every time I do, I don't get paid. So that's a decision. That's an intention. That's a plan. So if you are at a crossroads, whatever that looks like, from corporate to entrepreneur, from, mommy to empty nester, from, retiree to not retiree to retiree, from married to single, whatever that crossroads is, you need to ask yourself, have you thought through the plan. What's the next chapter look like? And if you haven't, this is the time for you to put your oxygen mask on first and really identify what and who you want to be in the future. I think that the Circle of Possibilities community is helpful in that regard because we're here for one another. And I think that's great. I think there's more and more women who are creating communities around, on and around their mantra, their vision, their mission, and they're making a difference. And I'm here to promote those women. So if you are one of those women, I want to hear from you. If you're building a community in a way, then I want to know what you're doing so that I can amplify what you're doing. At the end of the day, success is not binary. Because you succeed does not mean I fail, and vice versa. So if we're all up to something, let's crowdsource our energies and our knowledge and our successes and create bigger successes for other women. So that's what I want to leave you with. If you're at a crossroads and you haven't thought through the plan, it's time to do that. Get intentional about it. And don't let life take you down that river that you may or may not want to be on. Be very prescriptive about what you say yes to and what you want to say no to. Because at the end of the day, we all have the same 24 hours, the same 365 days a year. So make it count. I know I'm committed to doing that. And the same way I can help you, you can help me. Let's continue our conversation and build a better tomorrow. I love you all. Please remember to subscribe and give us your feedback and stay in touch. Talk to you soon. Make it a great day. Bye.